Well, there you go. It's getting a bit smoother, isn't it? It's getting a bit smoother. How's everyone? Hope everyone's alright. Still got a spot on my nose, as you can see. Still got a fucking spot on my nose. You know what I mean? But what can you do? What can you do? I hope everyone's well. It's New Year's Eve. Fucking hell! What I would be doing back in the days gone by. What would I put? 8:30. I'd probably be in some nights, and sometimes I'd probably be passed out by now, and that would be my New Year's done. And I'd wake up like 2 o'clock in the morning and get back on it again. Um, those days are gone, unfortunately. Those days are way gone. But there you go. There you go. Hopefully everyone can hear me. So look, I think I'm just going to back on with shit because I've got lots to get on with anyway. I'm trying to keep it on sync with stuff. So well, just fucking start backing on, should I? So basically, a few things. It's obviously New Year's Eve. Time for everyone to reflect and everyone to think about shit. I normally do, and I am. And with that, I think life's a journey. We all end up sort of. Well, we need to make the most out of it, really. And I don't think we do. I think we spend too much time fighting and arguing with each other. And we only get a certain amount. Well, most people will only get a certain amount of time on this earth. I get quite a lot longer because I'm invincible. I'm invincible. In case you didn't know that. But they, so basically, I'll be here for a long time. But then other people don't want the same mindset. So that means people need to start, this time of year, they set their goals and fucking try and be better people for at least a few days, at least anyway. And then they fuck up all off and then say fucking bollocks to it. I think this year though, I might actually have the chance of going for the whole of January without beer. And I think that's one thing I will give myself credit for this last 12 months as I reflect on my life and shit and what I've achieved this last 12 months. I've done less in my life in the last 12 months than what I've ever done ever in my life. And it's like, that's partly down to the work I've been doing, and it's partly down to being that busy. But it's just good that it's partly down to having a bike as well. Let's not forget. I've passed my bike. I passed my CBT, which was good, obviously. But then 3 days later, I lasted on the road for 3 days, or 2.5 days if you count it all together, and then obviously crashed my bike. So I'm getting another one though. Another one's getting delivered next week. My legs, I can't walk properly, right? I still can't walk properly, right? I still can't walk properly. I can do a lot better, right? Which means for me, that's that's good enough. That's good enough to get on a bike, right? I've got my clutches and shit over there. As long as I leave that one on the bike, and might use my weaker leg to turn my weaker leg into my stronger leg, then ultimately I'll be back on the road in a fucking few weeks' time. But yeah, so that's kind of what I'm doing, and I think when I got on, I was really worried about riding the bike. I was really worried about riding the bike. Because to Anthony, I was like, oh, what about if I have drink too much? What about if I drink and fucking get on the bike and blah blah blah? And he's like, oh, you just won't do that. You just won't do that. And I'm like, well, I fucking better do. And ultimately, oh, my sound's not clear. Shit, thanks. Wait 1 second. Sounds not clear. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. 1 sec. Can you still hear me? Am I still back now? Hopefully you can. Is that any better? I don't know. So much echo. Okay, echo. More of that there. But I can't hear it on the stuff myself, so I'm relying on you. Echo? No, well, hopefully microphone USB. So what has been that then? That's better. No, that should be much better. I should turn the echo down. I'm not in the hall anymore. Hopefully that's better. I can't see if it is. Much better. There you go. There you go. I thought so. There you go. So I don't know where I was there, but that was important that you told me that. So it's important that I've got that shit sorted. So basically, where was I? Where was I? Oh yeah, crashing the bike. That's fine. So obviously I crashed the bike, and I think what I was worried about, what I was really worried about when I was learning St. Anthony, because I failed my first CBT, and what I was really worried about was drink driving, because I drink, I like to have a drink, and but then what happened was the I think ultimately I got my bike, get on my bike 3 days. I last 3 days, and what happens? Crash my bike after I run over a hedgehog. Yeah, crashed it into a parked car, two parked cars actually, two parked cars. So not only did I just crash it into two parked cars, I ended up 6 weeks in hospital, and that was in that time I was like uh, pulling my hair out the first week, but then realizing afterwards that I'm fucking again. I can achieve anything, and this is not just me, right? I bet you, I can guarantee you, every single person watching this now, even if it's like fucking one person telling me my sound's not working, and he can't hear me, he probably still can't hear me. One, if I guarantee you, everybody, if I can fucking do this, right? I was feeling sorry for myself when I did my leg. I was really feeling sorry for myself. And I was like, and it was if it wasn't for this like 96-year-old man in the ward with me, I was watching him fucking whiz around, and I was like, if he's doing it, I'm fucking doing it. I'm not gonna feel sorry for myself, so I'm gonna get on with it. So I did it, and I got on with it, and I was going around with my crutches, and I still like I'm quite speedy on my crutches now, still. But ultimately, I had to learn a lot about myself in that time. I learned a lot about myself in terms of having to slow things down. Um, Knowing that I was upset at the time because I wasn't able to see Lila, who was not able to come and see me unless she was taking a day off school. I wasn't having that, so she needed to make sure she went to school. Um, so I was a bit upset about not having any visitors. And I had a few visitors, Anthony, James, and someone else. I can't remember what was his name. Dan the man. But I had a few people visit me, but obviously wasn't. I was in there for quite a while, and not seeing Lila, and realizing then myself that that was the first time since I've been single for 2.5, 3 years that I felt like I'd missed. I wanted a woman in my life. I wanted someone just to give me a hug and say, "Oh, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay." I wanted my daughter to say, "It's going to be all right. Don't worry, Daddy. Don't worry, you're going to be fine." But he didn't, and nothing did, and no one did, apart from myself. And this goes back to everything. It goes back to everything. It goes back to where you first start, where you come into this world and you're by yourself. You're gonna die. You're gonna be by yourself. You're gonna be with yourself in the best times when you're fucking having the best time of your life, and you're having the happiest time of your life. You're gonna be with you. When your worst time of your life, when your fucking shit's going on, and you got to get yourself through it. You're gonna be with you. So I can get through anything, and if I can get through anything, fucking you lot can. You can too. And I promise you that you can, because even sometimes when I was going through the fucking thick of it, and I couldn't. Sometimes I was going to bed thinking, I just don't want to wake up. Don't want to wake up. Then I'd wake up, but fuck it, woken up. I'll get through the day now. And then you get through the day. And it's like fuck it, I got through the day. And I was drinking lots then, so it was scary. But I think ultimately what I'm trying to say is I crashed my bike because I'm a fucking idiot. And rather than turn my hand off the fucking thing, I put it on the throttle and I just fucking strode these two cars. Got £900 excess fees. I got a £900 excess fee. I got not for my own fault because I don't know how to do insurance. So I got a £900 excess fee, which I've fucking it's all gone through, whatever. But the whole total claim was for £3,000. £900 excess fee. There was £1,800 left to pay on the bike, so it leaves £200 back roughly. And I said to them, I said, I have to get myself a push bike with the insurance with that. No. They told me I have to. I could make sure I get another bike. So I've got another bike. Another little Vespa. Another little Vespa's coming. Yes, it is. Yeah. So basically what I'm saying is you've got to strive to be your best every single day. And some days when you're fucking missing your kids and whatnot, it's difficult and you don't want to. But you've got to keep going. You've got to keep going. And you've been your best that you can be every day. And fucking have an off day. Have an off day. But that's fine. That's cool. Because as long as you get back on the road and you carry on going afterwards. I've got a quick joke for you, actually. I don't know if you can hear this properly. Why was the maths book so sad? Don't know, do you? Don't know that one? Because you don't know this one? This is fucking good. Because there are too many fucking problems. They're a big chin one. Did you get me? So yeah, the maths book was sad because it had too many problems. Too many problems in the maths book. Too many problems. What can you do? That's good humour, isn't it? Being like so, ultimately, we're going back onto life. Fucking 2023. Do you know what? At the beginning of the year as well. The beginning of the year, I set out myself to be like, and I'm sort of done it. I've made the same sort of plans for next year. So I'm going to be going away for Christmas next year. That's fact. It's done. As soon as I've said it, it's done. Right? And I think that's definitely happening. So I'm going to either going to go to Australia or I'm going to go to fucking India, or I'm just going to go to some random place that like you're never going to want to go to unless you're weird like me. And that's what I'm going to do next year. I'm going to go there. That's if we live through the whole everything that's going to happen between now and then. Let's not be fun. That's going to be a hairy year. Let's put it like that. And that's why we all should be sticking together more, and we should be encouraging each other to be the best we can be. Still, every single one of us. Yeah. And I think too many people are trying to do their own thing, and that's cool. Do your own thing, but then they're getting criticised for doing their own thing, and it's like it's a bit harsh. I think it's just one thing I've learned this year as well as much as I need no one and I can do anything myself and I can achieve anything. I've also learned to be I've been practicing over the years, and I finessed the art this year, which was don't talk about anyone negatively behind their back. Just don't say nothing negative about anyone behind their back. If you're going to say anything about anyone behind their back, say something positive. And that's what I've been working on doing, and I fucking cracked it this year. The only person that gets away with saying something negative about is the cats. I used to like cats. I don't really get them anymore. I do. I'm not joking. But there you go. So basically, I've learned to be the sort of true version of me. Yeah, I've learned to live by my own values and principles. I've learned to be wrong if I'm wrong. I'm certainly going to say I'm wrong. I'd much rather be wrong for being wrong for my views rather than being wrong for following the crowd. And I think that's what you got to fucking ask yourself every day. How many times every single day when you go to work, if you're working for yourself, if you're working for a corporate or whatever you're doing, what does you being the best you can be look like? Yeah, what does that look like? And it means something different to different people. No, because for me, it's like living to myself, be true to myself. Don't stop worrying about don't give a fuck what anyone else thinks about me. Sit here talking to myself on doing this, and don't give a flying monkeys if the neighbours or anyone will can fucking complain or hear we talking or whatever the case might be. Doesn't matter. It could be someone writing this spam there. I couldn't give a shit, and that's what's really important. You've got to really literally carry on not giving a shit as long as you're not bringing any harm to anyone else. That's really important. You're bringing no harm. Yeah, for me, it's like living true to those values and principles. It means working to be better versions of ourselves because we've always got to be better. Because I don't think no one's perfect. No one's perfect. No one. And that's another thing that makes me laugh when you've got the bullies and you've got the people who are fucking putting down these others. I think you've got people all fucking slagging everyone off, and rather than slagging people off, focus on themselves. Let bygones be bygones, and then just fucking let everyone else form their own opinion. That's what I think. But then what do I know? Don't know much. I don't know much about nothing. I know about owning my shit, that's for sure. I know what it takes about being honest with ourselves and taking responsibility. Something I fucking mastered again this year. And taking responsibility and fucking, if you fuck up, to putting actions in place and try not to fuck up again. That doesn't mean to say you won't fuck up again, because you might fuck up again. That's just how it might go. It's just how it is. Can't change that. Just what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. But that's life, though, isn't it? That's life. You know, being the best we can be always means living with purpose and meaning, I suppose. Um, it means figuring out what truly matters to us and pursuing all of that with all of our heart and our dreams and our goals. And if we want something bad enough, then we're gonna fucking go out and get it. And I'll say that to Lila, and I'll say it to fucking anyone. If you want it bad enough, then you're gonna make it work. You don't need to. You can. What do you call it? You can. When you do the M word, what's the M word? Manifest. When you manifest it, you can manifest it, or you can just fucking go out and work hard and do it. And I think for me, I work hard, and I do work hard, and what else do I do? Work hard, I suppose. Just don't go out enough with drinks. That's another thing I could work on this year, actually. Go out more. Get out more. Don't get mugged. Don't get mugged. Don't get into trouble. Don't get mugged. Don't get into trouble. Don't drink too much. Oh no, I don't this year. When I've gone out with Anthony this year, I've gone out and I've got into trouble. But that's only because Anthony's fucking big, and he's like a bodyguard, so I take the piss on it a little bit. But I got robbed as well. That was when I had like a fucking 9 weeks of just hell, man. 9 weeks of just fucking torture. Oh, mate, I got scammed, lost a lot of money, and the old me, with the amount of money that I've lost, literally down the back of the sofa, because I got scammed and got robbed when I was in hospital as well, online. I got a lot of money gone, and the old me would have been like, Jesus Christ, press the red button, just press the red button. But because, and this is why I'm grateful, because of what I've been through and what I have to live with my lovely, perfect, wonderful ex-wife, I'm grateful for that, because I wouldn't fucking, if I hadn't gone for that fucking shit with her, and still do, I wouldn't be able to cope with the amount of money that I've lost. Jesus. But it's only money, and that's another thing I learned to talk myself. It's only, fuck it. The less you have, the happier I am. I've always said that. The less I've had, the happier I am. And it just means, you work harder and work smarter and get on with shit. And for me, I'm grateful for that whole experience, because I'm still fucking in a whole heap of doo-doo, but it's not fucking, at the end of the day, it gets dark. What can you do? And I've found out that there's a solicitor's firm that can try and get your money back, which I'm working on. It's not over yet. What did John Lennon say? He said it's not over. If it's not okay, it's not the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. That's truly what matters. That's figuring it out as you go, and that's what I've been doing my whole life, living on the edge, figuring out as I go, figuring out what really matters, going for it with all your heart and soul, and fucking being the best you can be. That's what it's all about. Being kind and compassionate to everyone around you, showing empathy and understanding, showing love. What else can you fucking do other than just be you? I'm gonna might as well sing a song. But this journey towards being the best we can be it's not always easy, is it? So you can work hard, you can be dedicated, you can carry on being going to work early, fucking work 24 hours a day, you're self-employed, take your challenges, take your lessons on board. There's always going to be setbacks. Always going to be setbacks. Fucking life is not life without having setbacks. But I think without the setbacks, without the lessons, you can't be moving forward, can you? Ultimately, it has to move forward. To go backwards, you have to go backwards in order to go forwards. And I think I think I've actually always taken, I was saying someone the other day as well, I've always gone the most difficult road. Whenever there's a fucking easy option or a fucking more difficult one, I'm always down that difficult road. I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I do that, but I do. Just fucking don't know why I do that. What can you do though? What can you do? this everlasting journey called life. Twilight. I shouldn't fucking be. I should be. I should be fucking. Cat's looking up. I'm crazy. So it's a never-ending journey, Cat. It's a never-ending journey. Was that the Was that Twilight Zone? Was it that thing with the kid when he's got the big white horse in this not horse dog thing, the big white dog in the sky and it flies. Oh, what's that film? He goes into space and shit. Oh, I can't remember. I can't remember it. Someone out there will know. Yeah, someone will know. Ultimately, though, be back to being the best we can be and living our fullest life to our truest, authentic selves. It means that we live with value and purpose. It means that we live in line with what we fucking go with the stars and the moons. Yeah, it means that everyone lives with their own self and fucking in their own happiness. And I believe everyone lives in their own dimensions as well. Because let's be honest, well, how can one person or say, for example, you've got my ex-wife, right? So she lives her life in the way that she thinks that it's okay and it's acceptable, and people would say it's not, and people would say that it's what she, it's wrong what she does. A lot of people would, but in her world and in life, it's fine. That's life. This is just life. This is how life is, and this is how life goes. And their arguments and what they do and how they get through shit, that's their normal. Whereas I can see what the impact's going to be on the long term. So I'm looking at it long term, whereas they're looking at it short term. So my world, my dimension, my thing that I live in is different to theirs. And it's like, does that mean that theirs is wrong? Because if it is wrong, then why is no one doing it? But it's not wrong because Lila's okay. So Lila says she's okay, and so you can't. So it's a fine line. Ultimately, what I'm saying, it's a fine line. So I could argue that with them, but I'm not. I'm just like, so go with the stars and the moons. Go with the stars and the moons. Make sure everything is what it needs to be, and just fucking be there for Lila when she needs me. I'm so proud of her. It's unbelievable. Yeah, it's unbelievable how good she's doing without even fucking trying. Without even trying. Yeah. So that's us being the best we can be. That's fucking magical. Now, what else is we going to do? There's something I want to. That was it. The conflict, parents and conflict. I've been doing lots of work with researching this shit because I know I've been going on about it for ages. I've been banging on about this shit before it's even made fucking where we are now, and I've been saying it because it's been said to me in courts for ages, not me personally, but I've been seeing it with cases, and I've been listening to the judges talking, and I've been saying it's coming, and they're fucking, and then it's coming, and it's like here, it's like fucking on people's doorsteps, and I do see two sides to it. I see two sides where we've got kids that could be taken away unnecessarily because of the conflict between the parents, and I think that's really important to understand that the conflict between parents does manifest itself in a way that it can only come out of teenagers, of kids at a later age when they're old enough to express themselves properly, probably argue back more effectively, to be honest with you, like Lila does. So that's something everyone needs to be aware of. I think conflict is not good when it does happen, but it's inevitable and everyone expects it, and it goes on in every single relationship. Every single relationship will have a fucking conflict. If you don't have any conflicts in every single relationship, you've got something going wrong with you, as far as I'm concerned, because no way in the world is anyone going to be able to agree on everything for the rest of their fucking lives forever. Never. But where it's not a problem fucking split, it's not a problem arguing with each other, but what the problem is not communicating effectively to resolve it and agreeing to disagree. That's the problem. That is the biggest problem. It can be varied from like what is parents and conflict? So parents and conflict is two parents that ultimately want to try and co-parent, but not able to co-parent. That they cannot both mutually agree what's beneficial for the child. That turns into conflict between them both. That's verbal, mental, physical, sexual mistreatment towards another. That's it does happen. Tragically, maltreatment of children is an ongoing presence in our world, regardless of it's between the mother and father or someone else outside the traditional parents situation. It could be a step family, it could be a cousin, it could be a guardian, it could be a caregiver. Any abusive environment carries a grave concerns of resulting in the impact of consequences on all family members. And that's the killer because I've been saying it for about a year now. Been seeing it. Kids are getting taken away at least once every week. At least once every week, kids are getting taken out of people's homes based on conflict. And I've been saying it for ages. I've saying it for years, about a year, 18 months. And it's important to recognise that generally with these things, typically it would be the mother that's sort of instigating it because she's pissed off with whatever reason and she's not not moving forward. And it's important to recognise that although mothers typically have the main responsibility to care for the children, generally, that doesn't mean the child is not split between the parents. The father's also got parental responsibility. His argument is just as valid and has just the right to put his opinion across as anyone else. And unfortunately, we get made to feel that we don't have that right as separated parents. And that could impact the children negatively again because the children need dad, because the children need discipline. We are disciplined. Children see the dads as their safe comfort blankets. Where Lila knows where she's going to when she needs looking after, when she needs to be safe, when she comes straight to me. She knows it, and I think that's the beautiful thing about our relationship is that we don't need. We've learned to love the way we have. Like, she knows she's always got. I will always be here for her. And I think that's the most important thing. Yeah, and I think not counting the days or minutes or hours that I'm not with her, knowing that the relationship's strong enough to go the time apart without seeing each other, days, not weeks, months, and then be as part away from each other as we have done over the years, as we've had to, and still have that really strong relationship. So I think that's a positive in itself. Yeah. So parental arguing is not uncommon, as we know. Yeah. So, but it does impact the children, and I tell you now, it impacts your kids massively, and I see it with Lila. I still see it with Lila now. The way how she talks to me, is like sometimes if she forgets herself, she's just speaks about how she hears her mum speak or heard her mum speak about me and to me, no doubt. And then what can be other causes of arguments and parenting styles as well. So you have different parenting styles. That's going to cause conflict between both of you. Having a baby, let's be honest, when you have the baby, that's when your relationship is pretty much over. I'm surprised how people get to 3 or 4 or 5 babies, I tell you, because I'll tell you how, because the men are probably just fucking gagging for sex. But I remember it was either because Lindsay was getting dick elsewhere, or it was because she was pregnant and just had the baby. I think it was because she just had the baby at that point. I'd like to think it was. It was a bit later when she started putting dick in her. I hope. I think. But ultimately, sex stops basically when you have a child. Sex stops ultimately, and then that's going to be a bee in anyone's bonnet. As a red-blooded man, you're going to want to, unfortunately, that's just how they are. That's how we are. Not obviously without reason or whatever. I think I'm going off on a tangent here. Stick to the script. And if anyone, but having a baby is the biggest thing. I think once you have a baby, though, seriously, when you have a baby, it does impact your relationship massively, and that means sleepless nights. It means the man being more supportive at night. I was up all the fucking time, changing nappies. I loved it though. That's how I've got the relationship that I've got now with Lila now, because of what we did when she was younger. And that you can't buy that shit. Can't buy it at all. At all. Look, I'm gonna crack on. I'm just gonna fucking say to everyone, like, I value everyone's love and hate and frustration they sometimes have with me, and I value everyone's differing opinions because we're not always going to agree. Same as this parental conflict. I think if you've got 2 parents that can't sort out their arguments, then like I've had to take a step back to make sure Lila's protected from Lindsay putting the conflict on me, and that's a big decision that I made. But I've sacrificed my love for my happiness, for my love for my daughter, to make sure that she's happy. And I think if people can't do that, and people can't do it, Lindsay can't. It is clearly people can't do it. So I think it's not that easy. I think if you can't do that, then you should question whether or not you're fucking capable of being a parent. And if Lila was, if I knew what I know now, if I knew what I knew today, 10 years ago, if I had someone like me, on my shoulder, fucking helping me doing my shit 10 years ago, I swear to God, I'd have had a much different outcome. Much different outcome, and that is for sure. Happy New Year, Matt. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm definitely going away next year. I'm going from the 17th of December until the 4th of January. Not figured out how I'm going to get out of court situations yet, because the court dates no doubt will continue. But we'll figure that shit out as and when it happens. I'm going to buy a ticket in the next couple of weeks, so I'm going to fucking pay it off monthly, I think. That's the plan, because that way you're going to make sure it happens. I'm going to buy a fucking house as well. Bastards. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Like, definitely don't let the fucking bastards get you down, is what I'd say as well. Don't let the bastards get you down. Agree to disagree. Nothing wrong with disagreeing with people. Just fucking making it's how you disagree with people. Show them respect. Don't forget the fundamental behaviours that you have if you're going in through court as well. Let's just remember that. The fundamental behaviours: owning your shit, offering compromise, offering fucking compromise. What is the other one? Compromise, sacrifice. You're giving your sacrifice, compromising, fucking remaining child focused. Remaining child focused always. Being humble. 4, 5. Who knows? Who knows? It's been a long, long couple of weeks. I'm so sorry to people that I've not managed to get back, call back, or it's not that I'm ignoring people all the time. It's I've got lots of paperwork to do, and because I've got volunteers, they can't always volunteer and they can't always do what I would like them to do. So it's sometimes a case of I have to do it myself, which is a pain in the ass. And that takes things longer. That makes things a little bit longer. So I'm sorry if I've not managed to get back to everybody, but do keep trying. And I will send me a text message, and I'll work through them as soon as I can. If you send me text messages, and people need to understand as well, when you send me stuff, people will send me stuff on top of you. And sometimes I'm stupid, and I start calling from the top rather than calling from the bottom. So, in fact, a lot of the time I do that. Start from the top, should have done from the bottom. So you need to keep texting me. So don't be offended. Don't get offended with people, and don't be scared of having a go at me. If I answer the phone and I'm fucking, oh, I've been trying to get hold of you for fucking 10 days. Don't have a go at me because I'm just busy. Like I just explained. These bags don't grow themselves. That's for sure. That's for sure. Anyway, everyone, happy new fucking year. Live your life to the fullest. Live on the edge. Take fucking risks. It's gonna be a fucking struggle next year. I tell you, for some people. Others, for me, it's going to be fucking walk in the park. Walk in the park because I'm ready for it. I'm ready for the happiness. I'm ready for the love. And I'm ready for anything that comes my way. It's going to be fucking given as a lesson because we want lessons. I fucking love lessons. Come and give me the fucking hardest shit you want because I am fucking ready for you. I'm ready for the shit. I'm fucking ready to fucking look after people. Ready to look after myself. I'm ready to fucking take on anyone that wants to challenge me. We're all going to get segregated. We're all going to get cushioned, crossed into our own little boroughs and counties, aren't we? That's going to be bullshit. That's going to be the thing that's happening. We're going to all get I think they're doing it in Oxford. They're doing it in Oxford at the moment. They're going to do it in Oxford in 2025, I think it is. So then they're doing something in Canterbury. I saw earlier. They're doing something in Canterbury where they're segregating where people can drive their cars now. So it's all coming in, all the control that everyone was blind for, and everyone said we were all crazy conspiracy and blah 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 blah. Not so crazy now. Not so crazy now. But that's life. I hold no grudges. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Peace and love. Happy New Year. Lila, much love. And anyone else who cares to watch and listen, it'd be nice. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year.